Welcome to today's episode of the Musketeers podcast. We're your hosts, Hayden, Julie, and Jane.
Picture this. You've just got your first boyfriend or girlfriend, but you want to go out with that person.
Well, don't you worry no more. We are here to give good advice for your first date. As somebody who has somebody in high school, I feel like we should give really good advice.
That's true, because November 3rd will be 17 years since Jane lost her V card to that boy.
Oh my God, shut up. We don't speak of that.
Yeah, Hayden, stop bullying Jane.
Sorry, Jane. I hope we are still friends.
It's fine. Don't do that again. Anyways, there is no time to waste. Let's begin the episode.
Okay, first things first. Always be yourself. Be true to yourself. Dating in the 21st century can feel like a competition, and perhaps it has always been that way. Sure, first dates can surely be exciting or daunting for some people. That's why it is essential to mentally prepare yourself to avoid first failure dates, so to speak. Set your goals for this date and envision the outcome you want. So, you go out there, be yourself, and go make a good first impression.
Another good advice. Be confident. The best way to be attractive on a first date is to be comfortable and confident in your own skin, even if trying to be a hard ass.
Boost your confidence. People love to be around confident people, and body language is a powerful signal that will tell your date a lot about you.
Also, try to be after all. This is your first expression that you are going to create about yourself to the other person. You may not to be the same person as you were. That is okay.
On your first date, you keep it smooth and simple. That means you should keep a 2-drink maximum, or less if you get tipsy easily. Also, make sure to watch your alcohol consumption. Make sure to not get sloshed with someone you don't know very well, because it can be risky, and it can also quickly turn the other person off. You do not want that. Another you do not want is of clouded judgment when you are trying to make a genuine connection with another person.
Dress appropriately for your date. Take your time. About the atmosphere and dress code of your first date spot. You can think about the atmosphere and dress code of your first date spot, though it might not be appropriate to wear those stiletto heels to a coffee date. Clothes can say a lot about who you are, so what you wear on your first date matters. So make sure for your date, pick a good match of clothes.
Next, you should know your body language. If you want your body to send a positive vibe, let your body do the talking for you. Seductive dates are also in touch with their own body language. Make sure to hold your gaze a millisecond longer and don't look over their shoulder. Simple signals like leaning forward, making eye contact, and smiling are ways that shows that you're confident, open, and very interested to have a conversation. On the other hand, crossing your arms, looking around the room, or fidgeting can make you seem bored or nervous and send a message that you don't really want to be on the date. So please only show eye contact, smile, and lean forward. That way it shows you are very interested.
Be interested to be interesting. The key to being interesting is to be interested. Everyone, and I will say it and I really mean it, or we mean it really mean it. People really like to talk to themselves. Why asking your date questions about them? Make good impressions like what Jane said.
Choose the right first date location. When you're planning a first date, you don't want to go somewhere too fancy or too loud or someplace you can't have a conversation like the theaters. The point of a first date is to see how well you connect with each other. So talking and enjoying each other's company are important here. Your best bet in choosing a first date spot is to go somewhere lighthearted and relaxed. You don't want to deal with the pressure of a formal restaurant or the chaos of an amusement park for your first meeting. Morning walks work, so does smoothie dates or any place you feel like works for a date.
Have good manners. All right, show some good old-fashioned manners. Holding doors, pulling out chairs, and elbows off the table.
Next, put your phone away. Stay away from your phone during the time. There's no good reason to constantly check your phone on your first date. Turn off your notifications and focus on your date instead. Don't worry about the important notifications.
Prepare some first date topics. Before your first date, it's a good idea to think about a few interesting topics you want to raise and give some thought to how you can ask about them, but not too personal. If you're quiet or have social anxiety, the most nerve-wracking part of going on a first date is trying to have an engaging conversation.
Avoid inappropriate conversation topics. Julie had said this. Please avoid anything personal, like some personal questions. Whilst you shouldn't change your personality, there are some conversation clangers to avoid. Though difficult or personal topics are okay, as long as if it is not too inappropriate. Ideally, first date conversations should be pretty fun and low pressure. But if hard topics do come up, don't feel like you need to change the subject. You want to get to know this person and see if you're compatible. Sometimes the best way to do that is to talk about trickier topics.
Make a great impression. A great way to make a positive first impression is to smile. Smiling is one of the habits of likable people. A sign of happiness and a trainable skill, and the person would be happy. By smiling more, not only will you start feeling better, you will also project some of that positivity onto those around you. It's all about those good vibes. Everybody loves positive vibes.
Make great conversation. Ask questions, as long as they feel comfortable with what you will ask them. Again,
get in touch after the date. If you're digging your date, get in touch after. Sending a text or email to say thanks is a sweet, easy way to stay in touch. It's always polite to check in after your first date and thank the other person for spending time with you and taking you out or letting you take them out. This is also the time to be honest and clear if you really weren't feeling it. It's never comfortable admitting you don't see this moving forward, but it is right to do so. On the other hand, if you feel like there's potential here, keep moving forward one date at a time. Why wait forever to go out again if you know you want to spend more time with them? Communicate what you think and how you feel with kindness and clarity.
offer to pay. In this situation, you should both offer to pay at least your share and someone you are going out with. Money is always a tricky issue when it comes to first date etiquette for guys. Nobody should go on a date expecting the other party to pay. If you want, you can even say something like, "I'll take care of our meals if you want to treat us to ice cream later." This is a choice you do not need if you don't want. Therefore, make sure to offer someone to pay.
Now pay the bill. Offer to pay your half of the meal or bill. If you enjoyed your time together, say it. At the end of the night, say, "Let's do this again." So make sure you and your love pay the bills.
Finally, split the bill. Don't compliment unless you really mean it. The most significant advantage of splitting the bill on a date is that it is fair and equal. After all, two of you have been present on the date, and it's fair that you both pay your way. This creates equity in the relationship from the outset and ensures that one person isn't taken advantage of unfairly.
Well, I think that's all we have. You also look up first date advices if you want, and you can ask Reddit or Quora about first dates. Overall, thank you for listening to today's episode. Hopefully these advice works for any of you, and make sure to follow them.
Make sure to follow the Musketeers podcast on Twitter and Instagram.
Thanks again, guys, and we'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Bye.